Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. I hope you're doing okay. Today I'm going to be talking about a very important concept when it comes to freedom. The goal of my channel is to help you achieve freedom the way I did. Freedom to me is the highest aspiration that one should have. It is simply the best state to be in. It's the state where there is no more inner conflict. What you think, you do. Your beliefs, you exercise them in the real world. What you think is good, you actually do it. What you think is bad, you avoid it. That's freedom. And in this state, you feel comfortable, you feel good, and you enjoy everything that you do. And that reflects in your results. I think that's the best state to be in. And one of the most important concepts for this is the on and off button. So the on and off button is this kind of inner switch that you have to develop in order to turn something off or turn something on. So we all have tendencies, we all have a temperament, we all have a personality. Um, it's okay to have a personality, it's okay to have a tendency to be a certain way, but it's very important that when needed, in moments when you need to do this, you need to have an off button or an on button. So say you're like a very calm person, generally, you don't really get angry or anything. That's great. But sometimes anger is a very useful feeling. Sometimes you need to show your anger. You need to be able to show people that you're angry. Sometimes it's not even useful. It's just like it's very important. You need it, right? Sometimes you need to do that. And it's very important to have that on button for the anger where you can just show that, you know? Perhaps you're a calm person, but sometimes in certain situations you need to have more energy. So you need to have an on button for that. This is very important because it's the thing that defines real discipline. So real discipline is not just to have like a certain plan and you just execute and you work hard. Hard work doesn't necessarily equal discipline. Real discipline is to have self-control, to have this button. That's real discipline. So, when you don't develop this button, this inner switch, this inner control, when you, for example, have addictions, you have an addiction to social media, for example, and then what you do is you try to leave social media, you try to delete everything, and say that you were able to do it, that you were successful in doing that, then you have plenty of time, but that inner switch you haven't developed. So what do? You turn to another addiction, and hard work could become your new addiction, and that's how you burn out and you fall back. That's how you get stuck in cycles of you become a workaholic, then you burn out, and you become an addict to whatever. Then that's because you didn't develop the inner button. That's because you didn't make the actual change that you needed to make. So, for example, I'll give you an example why this is important. For example, you could say like, okay, social media is the worst. I'm addicted to it and I need to delete all of my social media. That is not very smart. Social media is, first of all, it's not only important, it's also like, something that you can't really live without at this point in this day and age. There's just too many things on social media that are useful to you. Any goal that you want to achieve, the key to it is on social media. It's not like you can't find it on some page on Google or something. It's in the forums, it's in the pages, it's in the comments that you find, it's in the posts that you find these answers. There's just too much. There is too much. There are too many uh, useful and important things that are on social media. It's not very smart to just completely delete it. You have to have the on and off button in order to be in control. It is absolutely of the utmost importance to have this on and off button. What this on and off button means is basically the inner energy to, so like in physics, when like a body or something is moving, it needs like external energy to stop it from moving. And when something is still, it needs energy to make it move. This is exactly, this energy is exactly the on and off button. So you need to develop this inner energy, this inner strength and resilience in order to do that. When you're in motion, so that means you're working hard, for example, you need to be able to have the energy to stop it, to take a rest. And then when you're taking a rest, you're still, you have to start getting into motion. So you have to push yourself, have the energy to push yourself. So this is extremely important, like I said, because that's the key for a long, like for a long-term success. you know there's this book by Ryan Holiday, Ego is the Enemy. He talks about the three phases of like success and how the ego can ruin or like slow you down on each phase. So the first phase is you're the student, you still suck, but you're aspiring to get better. Then the second phase is you're at the top, you're the best one. And then the third phase is you fall back, you burn out, and now you're the worst. And this cycle, it hasn't it doesn't have to be that way, right? You don't have to have cycles in your life and keep going in circles where you are a workaholic, you burn out, you suck, workaholic, burnout, suck. That is not, you don't have to live that way. You could actually have a balanced and long-term success and stay in that state if you develop this control, this on and off button. If you can develop this on and off button, you can take a rest, you can choose when to take a rest and choose when to work. You could avoid burnout and avoid just becoming like, just not doing anything at all, and, just becoming like completely idle. So, how do you develop that? I think it's an actual part of your brain. It's not just like a concept. It's an actual part of your brain that when you train it, just like a muscle, when you train it little by little every single day, this part grows. And as it grows, it becomes easier for you to have this on and off button. And at some point, it's actually going to be your natural state. So it's a whole process. I think you need a plan where like every day, maybe you do something a little, like you have control over yourself just a little bit. Instead of doing what you usually do, instead of like scrolling for 4 hours, you scroll for 3 hours and a half. It starts that small, and then it's a muscle. So you build it up little by little. The most important thing is to do it every single day. Little doses every single day. So yeah, I just really wanted to talk about this concept because it's not like, progress is not just as simple as like, oh, just delete all your social media and just block every single person that bothers you, every toxic person block them, and that's it. Your life is going to change and everything is going to get better. No, the reason why you were addicted to social media in the first place, the reason why you were attracted to toxic people in the first place, the reason why you had these bad tendencies in the first place is because there's something inside of you that chose that. And you need to be able to have an on and off button for that. Of course, you have to process the part of you that chose those things that are bad for you. Sure, and that takes inner work, that takes professional work. It's not something that I can heal for you through a YouTube video, okay? But it's also very important to develop this on and off button. This was it for today. Thank you for watching. I will be making more videos. I post every single week, and I am on my own journey of freedom, and I'll post every single time any new realization I make or anything that has personally helped me. Thank you again for watching, and I wish you a great life, and I hope that you achieve your own freedom, because freedom is awesome. I really, really wish you get to experience it. Thank you.